I got a paternity test because I don't trust my wife anymore. We got the results back, and I fear our relationship is over. So I met my wife through a mutual friend. We were friends for a year or so before we both became single and decided we were compatible enough to date.
Very nice.
We were together 2 years before we got married. I do not know what got into me. My wife is loyal, faithful, but I had been reading statistics about how many men are raising children that aren't their own and had absolutely no idea around the time she found out she was pregnant. We both wanted children. We weren't actively preventing it. What is the statistic? 1 in 30 fathers is not related to the kid that they think they are related to. You probably know 30 fathers. One of them, and it could be you. It could be your dad.
Yeah, it could be your dad.
Yeah. Your dad might not be your dad.
Dun, dun, dun.
She told me she'd gladly give me my paternity test, but that she was moving back to her mother's until that time because she didn't know if she wanted to continue the marriage. She got an amniocentesis test about 20 weeks ago. I'm the father, and when she told me, I was so happy, but she wasn't. Of course he's not going to be happy that you questioned the paternity.
Idiot. God.
She told me that she felt like she fell out of love with me the minute I asked her and that she had no desire to reconcile. Our daughter was born July 10th. My wife has gone through a lawyer and has started through the motions of a divorce and issues of custody. She has since gotten her own apartment. She said she wants to keep this as amicable as possible for the sake of our daughter, but I just want to be a family. She doesn't want support or alimony because she makes more than enough to cover herself and our daughter's needs and live a comfortable life. It's taken since February to even get to her softening her stance and even think about counseling. She said she loves me, but she isn't sure she can get over this. Now, I'm trying to think of how to fix this, and I'm just a broken mess. I want to prepare a list to talk about on Monday at counseling, but I just can't think of anything but apologizing, and that hasn't made any difference in the past months. I don't think it would now. TLDR, didn't suspect wife of infidelity, but paranoia made me ask for a paternity test. Probably listen to a couple OKOP episodes. After months of separation, she's agreed to counseling. What can I do to fix this? And there is an update.
Oh.
But John, what can OP do to fix the fact that he didn't believe his wife and got a paternity test?
How do we fix his marriage? He still kind of has the vibe like when he said, like, she doesn't want to like engage, but I just want us to be a family. It's like, don't you get it? Like, it's that behavior.
Yeah. I mean, it was the fact that you didn't trust her.
Yeah. Oh, God, what would I do if I was OP? I mean...
Don't be an idiot in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
don't believe the fucking internet
yeah.
and statistics. But I mean, you can't rush it. Your questioning of her loyalty and honesty has crippled the relationship in her eyes.
Yeah.
But there is an update.
Oh, boy.
I got to sit down with my wife during my visit with my daughter while she was napping. She says that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And here is why she went nuclear, as a lot of people said. And as much as this hurt, I needed to hear it. I had trouble trusting her our whole relationship, despite the fact she had never cheated on me or any exes. She's caught me snooping through her phone, email, work, laptop before, and because she deals with privileged information, she says I open her up to liabilities with her clients.
Oh.
And no, I have never found anything incriminating. She has never hidden anything except work-related things because of confidentiality. Her bank accounts, credit card information, phone records were always open to me because she's caught me snooping before and she wanted to assuage my fears.
Oh boy.
I had recently installed Tinder on my phone and she caught me on OKCupid 6 months ago. Her best friend sent me my profile, so she thinks that this is me projecting.
This guy.
She got upset about the hypocriticalness of it all. While she had been fully open to me, she says I never showed her the same courtesy and always bitched at her about my privacy. I had my phone passcoded. I would get upset if she did the same, which, dude, if you're being hypocritical in your relationship,
bro,
you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You shouldn't expect someone to do something that you're not prepared to do.
Exactly.
I'd get angry with her if she went into my computer email for any reason, even if it was bill related. You sound like an asshole, bro. You're not making a good case for yourself. She said what really made her not want to work on it was some of the following. She felt no support from me at all before the test. She would come over every other day and talk to me, but I was cold to her, and she tried to work on it in the beginning. She said my aloofness made her not care. I refused to help her cover the copay for the amniocentesis. God, what a dick. She said this was petty pettiness that made her feel this way. But she was going to get an amniocentesis test anyway because she's paranoid about birth defects and her insurance didn't deem it a medical necessity. I went on a few dates after she moved out and she found out. She considered it cheating because she had been attempting to work on our marriage at that point and had even made counseling appointments.
Oh my God, bro.
That I refused to attend until she got the paternity test. Bro.
How do you fumble the bag so badly?
She was trying to meet you every which way.
Dude.
And you were like, no, I didn't remember this and didn't include it in my last post. She said she's willing to work on the marriage, but she said that it has to be open both ways and she isn't willing to move back with me right away. I have to give her the passcode to my phone and delete Tinder. I do not want to give her the passcode to my phone because I think I deserve my privacy. Bitch. Are you kidding me? If you expect her to give you her phone password, you should give her yours. Are you trying to work on this marriage or what, dude?
This is painful.
Her other condition is personal therapy as well as couples counseling, which he was much more reasonable on. He said, I don't want to do this either.
No.
Because as many of you pointed out, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be sure.
What does that have to do with your therapy? That has almost nothing to do with that.
And there is another update.
Oh God.
There is another update. But John, so far, what are your thoughts on this dude?
My guy. This is just one of those, every once in a while, we just get those dudes that just like, he's just going to fumble the bag forever. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't deserve to be in a relationship.
All right, hit me with it. I'm ready.
Okay. I realize now that I'm not exactly someone you want to sympathize with, and I'm sorry. I do love Marissa, and I want to be a better husband and father, but I will not get that chance. In therapy, our therapist had us lay everything out on the table, and I admitted that I was an unfair hypocrite. At least you can admit what you are. She admitted that she's happier without me, despite being a single mother for all intents and purposes. We attempted to talk it through, with her laying out her terms to re-enter the marriage. I still feel I did not cheat on her because she left me with no discussion of terms. She feels I cheated because we were still married and actively discussing her eventually rebuilding her trust in me and moving back home. We agreed to try another therapy session, but Tuesday morning she canceled it and filed for divorce. We had dinner that night. She told me she was so sorry, but she didn't think it would work because her trust at this point was irrecoverably broken. I told her it was okay. We sat down and talked about visitation until she leaves in January, when she will be moving to her home state with an opportunity that grants her more money and better benefits, including on-site daycare. She told me she harbors no hard feelings towards me, which I would harbor some big hard feelings against this douchebag, but she wishes it hadn't ended this way. I told her it didn't have to, but she disagreed and said it did. And it does. I told her I'd give her access to my phone and such. A little too late, buddy. A little too late.
Stop it.
But the fact that I did that to her left her with a sour taste in her mouth, and she doesn't want a relationship where it's considered normal to not share/rifle through the other person's things for no reason, as she put it. We agreed on child support and we will get it in writing. I make a comparable amount to what she will be making, so we agreed to split baby's expenses. Baby will be on her insurance. I gave her a check for the amount for the amino. Anything else we can think of? I know there's no chance of getting my wife back, but how can I be a good dad to a baby long distance? We talked about me eventually moving to be in proximity. She made sure to emphasize for baby and that we will not be getting back together, but I'm locked into a contract until December at least. So I guess what should OP do to become a better father? Change a lot of things about yourself.
Become a completely different person.
At least he's honest in his post.
It seems like he's becoming self-aware. I mean, hey, that's
a step.
A step in the right direction. At the end of the day, she's still co-parenting a child with a guy.
Yeah.
So better that he's kind of understanding now.
Yeah, but fuck, what an idiot. Bruh. I'm very curious. Have you ever been with a partner that has just been such a hypocrite? I would love to hear your hypocritical partner stories. All right. When Ariana comes over to my place, she will change and she'll borrow my sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Yep.
And maybe one of my hoodies.
Sure.
Classic girlfriend.
Of course.
Borrows your clothes thing, right? I went over to her place after a date. I didn't have any sweatpants or anything. I was cold and I'm like, hey, can I borrow some of your sweatpants? And immediately she said, no, you'll stretch them out. And yes, she is 5'0" and I have 100 pounds on her. But the fact that she wouldn't even think about lending me her sweatpants, I was taken aback. And I said, Ariana, that's hypocritical as fuck. Do you know how many times I've given you my sweatpants? And then she's like, fine, I'll go check. And I wore some of her sweatpants and I look fucking phenomenal in them.
Oh God.
Did not stretch them out because they're massively oversized on her. And now we're closer because of it. I think someone is living in my shed. I can't prove it yet.
Rent is too damn high. I'm about to find a shed to live in myself.
Title says it all, but it also doesn't say a thing.
Oh.
Mysterious start. Lately, I've been noticing something off about my home. Like there's something else with me, my wife, and our 2 dogs, but I have not been able to put my finger on it until today. For some context, I live in a duplex. We share the property with another guy in his mid-20s. He has his own house and we have ours, but we share the laundry room that leads to our respective backyards that are separated by a fence. This all started 2 months ago when a guy sent me a text. Hey man, just a heads up, someone stole my bike out of the sunroom. This is extra creepy because to get to our sun/laundry room, you would need to hop the brick fence surrounded by shrubbery trees and then hurl the bike over, unless the thief had the most massive balls ever and walked through one of our front doors when we weren't home. Either way, I didn't feel right and made more of an effort to keep the door locked. Fast forward a couple of weeks ago, I let my dogs into the backyard and one of them starts sniffing at the shed. No big deal. The lizards are coming out. It's heating up. They probably just chased one under the door. Finally got them to come in, but didn't give it much thought. I hardly ever go in that shed. Nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of out of the way, and I'm not really a hang in the shed type of guy.
You don't like hanging in the shed with your boys?
Hey, knock back a couple beers in the shed. Maybe look at those tools. Maybe look at each other's tools.
Oh, God.
So we generally use it for storage, suitcases, furnitures that doesn't match and fit the house, camping stuff, boring suburban shit. We probably enter it maybe 3 times a year. After the 18th day in a row of my dogs being curious about the shed, I decided to give it a little look-see to see if maybe there's a Komodo dragon. Where are they living? A Komodo dragon?
What?
Or something in there. But what I did find literally made me piss myself just a little bit. Just a few drops.
Ooh.
Inside the shed was the bike that my neighbor had stolen a little while back. My first thought was, oh, fuck, my wife is a klepto. So
yeah,
it's like, right. Oh, my wife stole this guy's shit.
Who else could it be?
But quickly ruled that out. She doesn't even like the bike. Then I briefly worried that my neighbor thought that I was the thief. I mean, it's in my shed. I don't know how to explain that if he found out. Plus, I wanted to give him his bike back. I kept looking around and found that one of our sleeping bags unraveled but balled up behind a box. Inside of it was a sack of what looked like to be $20 in change in singles. There was also a bag for garbage that had lots of food wrappers inside. It was pretty clean.
I'm still freaked out. I am freaked out. He said a wife, kids, and a dog.
Yeah.
I'm freaked out.
And a new roommate. Eventually, my brain accepted what it was ultimately denying at first and put 2 and 2 together. Someone, I don't know who, is living in my shed.
I hate it.
Or at least was. Maybe my dog spooked them off, or maybe they sleep there every night and leave during the day. If they weren't coming back, why would they leave the change? I left everything how I found it and am thinking about what I should do next. Whoever did it must have gotten in through the spare set of keys I keep hidden in my backyard. I locked up and brought them inside with me tonight. Hopefully, whoever it is gets the message and moves on. I'm going to install cameras tomorrow. I will keep you guys updated if anything more happens. Please hope for the best, and let's hope this person isn't a lunatic. And there is an update.
Oh, no.
But John, if you thought someone was living in your shed, what do you do?
It could totally be just someone like, I found this random ass empty box and I'm living in it, right? That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But my paranoid mind is like, is this person like trying to infiltrate my family and like do whatever else, you know?
Is he trying to hook up with my wife? Has my wife has been going to the shed more recently.
I mean, dude.
And she comes back with a smile on her face.
If someone is getting at your wife living in your own shed, you got to get your riz up, my dude. Like, you are just failing.
But have you ever found anyone sleeping in your apartment or shed or lawn? But there is an update, John.
Okay.
Right?
I feel like I know what it's going to say.
All right, guys, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The bad news is that for 3 nights now, my cameras have not picked up anything creepy, so no creepy footage for you guys. The good news is for me, no footage. But the story doesn't end there. A few people who read my post suggested I contact some local homeless shelters. After all, I didn't want to get the police involved and ruin someone's life potentially, and this very well could have just been a person who hit rock bottom and needed any kind of shelter. So I called around these past few days and explained this story to people who knew the homeless population. The first few conversations went something like, this doesn't sound like anyone I know of, but let me hook you up with blank. And after about the 5th or 6th time of being told to hit up someone who may know, I got a bite.
Okay.
Susan has been working with the homeless community in my city for about 3 decades. She listened to what I said with eagerness, and I could tell she had a light bulb go off almost right away. The bag of food wrappers you found, were there a bunch of party mix little bite muffins? This was it. She was dead spot on.
Wow.
There were probably like 10 in there.
Wow.
And then she says, you got nothing to worry about. That's old man Dan.
So, old man Dan?
Old man Dan, he just sleeps in your shed every once in a while.
He's just slipping in and out and around.
Susan proceeded to tell me the brief version of old man Dan's life. Old man Dan is a supposed Vietnam veteran who, like many of his peers, fell in hard times. She said he has probably lived more of his life homeless than he probably has functioning within society. They feel like he suffers from a multitude of mental health issues such as PTSD and multiple personality, but has never been a concern for violent outbursts. He's mostly kept his head low and just tried to hang out. He also has a habit of shoplifting boxes at a time of party mix little bites from the grocery store. I guess they're his favorite. But old man Dan is infamous for one thing.
Oh no.
Setting up little bases around town. Sometimes, they said, he's gone undetected for years. Other times, he's caught in a day. There are usually little bites wrappers found in these places. That's what usually gives his identity away.
His calling card.
Yeah, his calling card. It's like the Joker's Joker card.
Yeah, but it's muffin wrappers.
But it's muffin wrappers. They said he's really good about not going back to where he's not welcome. He's just trying to not draw attention. Some of his local hideouts include under the bleachers at a high school, the away team's bench, less security, abandoned swimming pools, like ones swim teams wouldn't practice at. He had a tent on a golf course. But his most common are a plethora of sheds and guest houses he can find a way into. So now that I know that my wife's life, my precious baby pups, my neighbors, and my life are not in any immediate threat, I took a moment to ponder and make my next move. I asked if Susan would come by and grab his stuff and track him down. She said she knew his usual spots. I tossed his trash. It was just wrappers, no cans or recyclables, but gave her the sack of cash and coins with a little extra money from my coin jar. I also let her give the sleeping bag. My neighbor kept the bike. Anyway, hopefully that's the end of the saga. I'm moving this summer anyway, so not really anything to worry about long term. But although I knew his intentions were malicious, part of me still feels violated that this was even happening. How many nights did he sleep out there without me knowing? I shudder at the thoughts. So old man Dan, if I see you on the street, I'll throw you a few bucks and a water, but let's not meet in my shed.
Ooh, wow. This is kind of like a wholesome ending.
Yeah, old man Dan. I love how there was like a Reddit post about this, but like every town has a like weird person that's unexplainable. It's like a guy like riding bareback on a horse with his shirt off with long hair.
Yeah.
And you're like, who's that guy riding bareback with his shirt off, like with long hair on the horse? And your friend's like, oh, like that's horseback Jesus.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, what would you do if
you found old man Dan living in your shed?
I feel like I resonated a lot with OP, where I'm like a little bit hesitant to like call the cops just so you never know. But I'm also simultaneously like definitely freaked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I
kind
feel
of
like
a tough
OP
call.
made the exact right choice. Like, hey, let me call like these services and see what I can do.
Yeah. Shout out to OP, honestly.
Shout out to OP. This
Good
is
stuff.
a real classy move.
Yeah. My husband is furious because of what I did at the engagement party, but I don't care. Am I the a-hole? So my fiance, male 31, and I, female 26, got engaged several days ago.
Nice.
This is relevant. He's tall and I'm in the 5 foot category. Pretty small compared to him and his family.
From 5 foot to 5'11".
I know, right?
Okay.
But
I'm guessing 5 flat.
He asked that I wear high heels at our engagement party since there was going to be photos. Although I wasn't comfortable and I'm also not a fan of high heels, I decided to wear them just for his sake since he begged and pleaded.
How tall is this guy?
I mean, my man is 7'8".
7 foot.
You know.
Yo, he's having to crouch.
And also, since he promised I would be sitting most of the time. But at the party, he made me stand for hours to welcome the guests. There were like 20 guests with him. I got so tired of standing and my feet and my legs were on fire. I asked if I could sit, but his mom said that I'm the fiance and I should stand next to my partner, not just sit down like the party had nothing to do with me.
Just let her change into different shoes.
Who cares if she wants to sit? It's her party.
Yeah, bro.
What does this have to do with you, bitch? I told my fiance again that I was in so much pain, and he said, "Suck it up, babe. It's almost over."
Damn.
God.
Dick.
I hate these two people right now.
Dick.
I had enough of it. I took my heels off and I let my feet and legs cool off. Him and his mom looked at me in utter confusion. Several of his family and guests saw me barefoot as well.
Barefoot. I saw her toes.
He freaked out and asked me what I was doing.
How dare you, wench?
His mom asked that I put my heels on, but I said my feet were done and I couldn't do it anymore. My fiance begged me, please, my darling.
Please put your shoes on. The stench is overwhelming.
But I stood there till it was over like he wanted. The minute I got in the car, he flipped out, saying I embarrassed him in front of family and friends by standing there barefoot and refusing to put my heels back on, even after his mom repeatedly asked. I reminded him that he said I wouldn't be standing, but turns out that wasn't true. Yeah,
you lied.
You make me sick. He argued that for someone with a height like mine, that I should wear high heels more often and said that I should have sucked it up for his sake. He went upstairs and he turned his phone off and refused to speak with me. I had no intentions of embarrassing him, and I do feel like I should have just sucked it up. But I think he wasn't truthful about how long I was expected to stand. Am I the a-hole? Quick edit. He doesn't usually care if I wear high heels and said I should start considering wear them from now on because most women wear high heels on big occasions like weddings and engagement parties. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy is pissed, but I want you to resolve my pissedness by sharing your thoughts in the comments. And I'm sure that there's been some controlling mother-in-laws and fiancés and all manner of that. I would love to hear your stories in the comments, or maybe your craziest high heel related story.
So Ariana, my girlfriend, is 5 flat. I'm like 6 foot. And yesterday we went out to watch The Little Mermaid. Lit, by the way.
Oh,
lit.
yeah.
And she was about to wear high heels. And I'm like, oh, those look really good. Are you going to wear those? And she's like, nah, like they kind of make my feet hurt. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's wear other shoes. End of discussion, right?
Sam, are you telling me that you allowed her to do what she wanted to do?
I know. And not very manly of me.
You disgust me.
I know. Not very tatey of me.
Wow.
But yeah, I would love to hear everyone's high heel stories.
Yes.
And also, what is the highest heel that you've ever worn?
Ooh, competition time.
Competition.
Let's go. Hey, you're like 70-80% women. We know who's watching.
We know there's some high heel wearers in there.
Let's see who wins.
I kicked a girl at my wedding because she was younger and hotter than me. The audacity. Am I the a-hole?
If anyone is more attractive than you, attack them.
I, 25 female, and my husband, 30 male, and I got married last Friday.
Congrats.
We planned our dream wedding down to the dream catering company. The wedding was beautiful. After the pictures, we headed to our cocktail hour, and that's when I saw her. My guests were all told to wear dark colors, so my husband and I stood out. I also asked my guests to wear minimal makeup. I had assumed that applied to the staff as well. The server, 19-ish female, had on clearly too much eyeliner.
Clearly.
This isn't a Green Day concert, you punk! She also had diamond studs on her ears, a flashy ring, and one of those ugly nose studs.
Oh, a nose stud. What is this? Is this a hot topic?
The staff's uniform was long black sleeve shirts, but on her, it was too low cut and her pants were far too tight.
That ass and those boobies were
goodness.
too bodacious.
They were busting out the confines.
My husband could not keep his eyes off her.
She was walking around serving drinks and talking to my guests.
How dare she?
You do your
Saying
job.
things like, would you like a drink?
Oh,
how dare you?
Audacity.
Saying chicken or fish? Oh my goodness.
I asked another member of the staff to speak to their boss. When their boss came out, I pointed out the server and asked that she be dealt with because she was super distracting. Their boss apologized and called the server back into the kitchen. Oh, this poor server, man.
Bro, she's like, this happens every time, every wedding. They always kick me out because I'm too hot.
What can I do? Not even an hour later, the server was back out serving food for dinner. I called the boss over again and asked if the server could work in the back or go home.
Oh my God.
Her boss said they were short-staffed tonight, so she would see what can be done. After a few hours of not seeing her, I saw the server again around
audacity.
the bar. Why do you continue to exist when I wish for you to vanish? I called the boss out one last time and told her if the server didn't leave, I would be calling the cops.
On what grounds?
Hey, my husband and mother-in-law said I was acting crazy. Yes. And that I probably got a poor college kid fired over nothing. My mother and maid of honor said it's my wedding, so I can do as I please.
I don't know if you getting married, you have the right to just be a dick to everyone.
It's my wedding, and I don't want someone overshining me. And that server should know she's at work and not to dress up too much. I do feel kind of bad because she was pretty young. Am I the ass?
Hole. Yes, you are. Big, fat asshole. Just because someone's hotter than you doesn't mean they should go to jail.
Well, that's not what I told the cops when I said my co-host needs to be arrested because he's too fine.
But that's what I told them when I saw John and his luscious mane, and I said, hair like that has got to be cut off because it makes me look bad. It's too beautiful.
Man, this is a very clear cut asshole
asshole
to me.
Yeah,
that asshole is cut clear.
Perky.
Very, very, very perky.
I told my fiance her wedding dress was butt ugly, and I hate it. Am I the a-hole?
You know, he's just being honest. You know,
being honest.
He's trying to be a nice guy.
So my fiance and I are getting married in 9 months. She's been dress shopping with her girls for months now. She found the dress she loved and bought it and was too excited to keep it a secret. She told me pics of the bridesmaids' dresses, and I told her they were pretty. They matched the groomsmen's suits really well. Anyway, she brought her dress out and asked what I thought. I specifically asked if she wants the God's honest truth.
Oh no.
And wants me to critique the dress, or if she knows she loves it and just wants to show me.
I would probably go. I'll be honest. Those other ones over there were really catching my eye.
The old switcheroo. I don't hate that. She said she wanted my opinion. She put the dress on and came out of the bathroom, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed. She's a beautiful woman and looks incredible in anything, of course, but the dress completely dwarfed her and didn't really fit the wedding theme she has worked so hard for. She wanted a foresty, magical, and whimsical type theme.
Yeah, what does she got to do? Like wear a moss dress, like be a tree? Like
a white moss dress. Flower crowns on the bridesmaids, etc. But she chose a super sparkly dress with a huge skirt, which looked nothing like the simply body-hugging sexy dresses she had been repeatedly showing me. She picked basically a huge Disney princess dress, and I just didn't like how it looked at all. I was honest when I told her I didn't like it, and I was surprised she picked it because it just doesn't seem to match her, and I just thought it was too much poof and sparkle, which is a more laid-back opinion of this, I hate it. She got really quiet and stormed back upstairs and then stormed out of the house and went to her mom's. She texted me saying she couldn't believe I would say I didn't like it and what a dickhead I am, and has blocked my number. This is our first major fight. I'm just so annoyed because I asked if she wanted a real opinion and she said yes. So, am I the a-hole for telling her I don't like the dress? And there is an edit. I'll just read that first. I read my credit card statement. Guess how much the dress was. Also, I want to know in the comments how expensive your guys' dress were.
Yeah.
For those of you that are married or were about to be married and then like maybe ran off with another person or left the guy at the altar.
It happens.
It happens all the time. But John, guess.
I feel like the average it's in the thousands, right? It's not in the hundreds. Probably like 5 to 15, I guess, would be like maybe the median average range for like a not non-budget dress.
Yeah.
Let's go 15.
$9,000.
I mean, that's still insane.
That's
still
a lot.
Freaking insane.
Might help explain the reaction. Oh, you don't like this $9,000 dress? Great, because I can't return it. Do you think OP's the a-hole?
Yes. You're not RuPaul, bro. Like, this is not like some runway show. This is not
America's
Next in
Next Top
Fashion.
Model.
This is not America's Next Top Model. This is just your wife wanting to feel supported.
Like if someone asks your opinion on something that can be changed,
yeah,
I think he's not out of place. If it's already at the other end and she can't return it and he's saying like, I don't really like it, that's when he's the a-hole. But yeah, let us know, is OP the a-hole or not? And if you bought a wedding dress or if your significant other had a wedding dress, how much did that thing cost? Because those things are expensive.